Okay. Okay, I would like to call the meeting to order. Cheryl, I think you already started. Oh, sorry, Lisa. I know Cheryl used to do this before, so I got used to that. But Lisa, thank you for starting the recording. Just some household administrative items to follow the Robert Rules of Order. Please make sure you turn off your phone on silent and turn off any distractions in background. Place your mics on mute unless speaking. Please raise your hands if you want to speak. Remember to reply to Lisa always if you are not able to attend or if you're attending. I would like to remind we serve at the pleasure of the governor. Attendance of the meeting is one of the few requirements of our commitment as commissioners. So please make that effort to be present and also to participate in meetings. And Lisa, can you do a roll call, please?
Sure. I have Amarjeet Sadhu.
Yes.
Okay. I have Archana Thacker. Nope. Okay. Bashal Badari.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, thank you. Director Poi. Director Dr. Raza Khan.
Good evening.
Good evening. Commissioner Devon Shaw.
Present. Good evening.
Commissioner Faisal Quatter.
Present. I'm here.
Commissioner Aman Shagur.
Good evening, I'm present.
Commissioner Artie Bat.
Present.
She's present.
Okay.
She
And-
she cannot speak.
Okay, thank you so much for that. I see that we just let our chief of staff in, Gregory Yancey. Preet Takar, Chair Preet Takar.
Present.
Obaid Ahmad. He could make it.
He can't
No.
make it.
Right, Navivia Overy.
Good evening, I'm here.
Prateek Manan.
I'm here.
Sushma.
Here.
Okay, and I just have a Jake Solomon, but is he on?
That is
A presenter?
no, that is Fahim Rafiq.
Okay, is he here?
No, he is not.
Okay, thank you.
He's out of town.
Okay, thank you.
Lisa,
You forgot about me.
Who's
I'm
that?
Ahmed
Dr.
Nawaz.
Nawaz.
Okay, I see Ahmad Nawaz. Thank you.
Lisa, this is Archana. Good evening.
Okay, so Archana's on now.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Mr. Commissioner Thacker.
Thank you.
So we have a quorum chair.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Lisa. Okay, great. So we'll start first of all with the adoption of the agenda. Would somebody please make a option of the agenda? Make a motion to adopt the agenda.
I will make a motion.
I second it.
All in favor, please raise your hand or say yay.
Sorry, who
Yeah.
made the motion to adopt it?
Amarjeet.
Amarjeet, thank you. Commissioner Amarjeet. And who made the second, please?
Archana.
Archana, thank you.
All in favor, please say yay.
Yeah.
Yay.
Any nays? Okay, so we'll adopt the agenda for today. Who would like to pass a motion to adopt the minutes from the last meeting?
Are there any edits to it?
Nope.
I had one edit, and the edit was that I had a comment in there and I forgot to remove that, so I will remove that. It was just a placeholder.
Okay,
and does not affect the content of the minutes themselves. Are there any other edits from the commissioners?
not to my knowledge.
Okay,
Somebody please make a motion to pass the adoption of the minutes.
I'll make a motion to pass it.
I'll second.
so Preeti made the motion and Devang made the
Yes.
second, is that correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
All in favor, please say yay.
Yes.
Yay. Yes.
Any nays?
Can you raise your hand or put it into the chat box, the yay, if you cannot see your face or your hand?
Any nays? So no nays and looks like all yays. So we'll adopt the meetings of the minute from the past meeting.
Thank you.
Okay. Right. Okay, moving on. So I'd like to introduce Administrative Director Christina Poi. Everybody knows who she is. She does not need any introductions anymore, I think, after 2 years. But Christina, the floor is yours. So please, give a few remarks.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to also acknowledge that we do have the GOCI Chief of Staff, Greg Yancey, on this meeting.
Great.
And now I'd like to provide my director's report. So since our last meeting on July 16th, representing the Governor's Commission on South Asian American Affairs, I attended 23 meetings and 10 events. And the commissioners of the South Asian Commission attended 8 events since our last meeting. I'd encourage you to continue representing at both meetings and at events. And please be sure to email both myself and the chair when you want to be representing in the community events, and also to complete the SOP, the GOCI event request form. Several of you are filling that out, and I appreciate that, and encourage the rest of you to do so as well. And now I would like to introduce our guest speakers. We have Katie Lane Weber. She is the AVP for SECU, which is the State Employees Credit Union. She's the Marketing, Innovation, and Program Development AVP. She is a seasoned brand strategist and a program architect with 18 years of experience leading high-impact marketing initiatives across industries. Beginning her career in the global beauty sector, Katie brings a unique blend of creative innovation and operational precision to her work, ensuring brand experiences resonate deeply and deliver measurable results. At SECU Maryland, she leads cross-functional efforts to advance financial wellness, member engagement, and brand visibility. Her strategic foresight has shaped award-winning campaigns and industry-first programs, including trademarked FinSmart program, a hybrid finance fair, and a statewide kindness campaign that achieved over 500,000 acts of kindness. Driven by empathy and fueled by purpose, Katie excels at bridging brand, business, and community. She's known for her ability to anticipate future opportunities, build trusted partnerships across departments, and elevate culture from the inside out, crafting brand stories that inspire action and create lasting impact. Katie?
Thank you, Christina. What a beautiful welcoming. And good evening to everybody who's joining us tonight. We're very excited and humbled to be here. I also would like to introduce you to my colleague, Quill Hamilton. He is our Financial Wellness Program Director. He is my partner in all things related to financial wellness and helps bring a lot of the programs and education to our communities, whether it's in a professional setting, meaning an organization, or inside of our educational sector with teachers and students alike from kindergarten to universities. You will find him there teaching. So he is extraordinarily busy out in our communities and across the state. So Quill, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you guys, and good evening to all. Thank you for inviting us here. And I want to say for CQ and Katie and myself that we are so pleased to be here.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to go ahead and share a couple of slides and just really an opportunity to introduce you to CQ as a credit union, so who we are, and what we have to offer in terms of financial education and wellness. Some of it is, think of it a little bit more a la carte. Others are programs that are really leaned in to build deeper partnerships. But ultimately, what I want you to think about is how can we help you? How can we help each of you as a group, as an entity, but also as you're out in the communities attending the events that Christina was just mentioning? How can we partner with you as you go out? Think about, wow, I think that maybe this audience could really benefit from some financial education around various different topics. Think about us, contact us. We're here to help. We want to teach to many different audiences and in different settings. So consider us an ally, a partner that you have now, or an extra tool in the chest that you can pull out when you need us. All right, I'm going to share my screen. Okay, and can you see it?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. So first, just right out the gates, who is CQ? CQ does stand for State Employees Credit Union, a heritage that we're extraordinarily proud of, but not limited to. Nowadays, after 70 plus years since we were founded, you're able to join CQ in over 1,900 different ways. So pretty much anyone is able to join our credit union. And just to clarify too, so that we're all on the same page, a credit union is owned by our members. We don't answer to stockholders. We answer to our members. We have a fiduciary responsibility to take care of anything that comes in and anything that goes out. And we're only as strong as our member base. And lucky for us, we are Maryland's largest credit union, around $5 billion plus in assets and well over 260,000 members. We do have a large footprint across the state, 23 financial centers that are brick and mortar. We have one digital center that we're extraordinarily proud of, which is our virtual financial center. We are one of the first in class to actually have this and offer it. And probably amongst all financial institutions or even sector, the whole sector, we haven't seen this one yet. So we're really proud of this innovation. The Virtual Financial Center is completely online. It's a virtual branch that you can tap into from your home at any point. It has hours and folks available to help you whenever you need it. So we like to make sure that we're helping our members when and where they need it, whatever suits them best. So that's a little bit about the credit union. We're hyper active inside of our communities, doing lots to give back. We do that specifically for our members, though, through lower fees and lower loan rates, with higher earning interest rates as well. So we do a lot of give back just for our members, rewarding them for being members, but also inside of our community. We focus heavily on financial wellness because the more financially fit our communities and our state are, the stronger our state is going to be. which is why we focus on it across all life stages too. So these are our areas, the key pillars to our financial wellness. First is really around that learning, making sure, first of all, that there's learning opportunities, equal opportunities for everyone. We advocate for this on our own. We advocate for this with many of our government officials. We advocate for it in partnership with many nonprofit organizations as well to bring equitable financial education across the state for all ages. So we think about it from kindergarten all the way to senior. Most of the times we're able to reach younger audiences through the education sector. So we focus on schools. That's why you see us at many universities, with our largest partner being the University of Maryland. We also have Towson, Frostburg, Morgan State, just to name a couple. And we work with many, many elementary schools and middle schools across all of our counties. So Quill is funny in the beginning. I know you were asked where you are. I was like, Quill could be anywhere across our state at this point. He's in and out of many different places. We work with lots of nonprofits. And again, it's more about meeting people where they are for us. If you are experiencing a life event, meaning a divorce or buying your first house or preparing to send your child to college, or you've become a caretaker, we want to make sure that you have what you need to get through that moment in your life. So that's really, that kind of moves into those tailored solutions. Not only do we provide education around meeting you where you are, we also have products that support that effort. Whether, again, you're a first-time car buyer, first-time home buyer, we want to deliver the whole package for you. So we're teaching you and we're giving you the products that you need, the solutions that you need to be financially well. So what can someone expect when they partner with us when we're talking about delivering financial education? It is completely free. This is something that we do have an arm to CQ called the CQMD Foundation, which is our nonprofit. The funds that we gain from that nonprofit are funneled through and fuel our efforts to deliver financial education, whether it's paying for support materials, grants, scholarships, paying for our giveaways, incentives, teacher tools, fulfilling teacher wish lists. So there's many, many things that it does for us. So we're able to go out into our communities, teach various different audiences, and do it completely free and really offer an additional benefit to the organizations that we're supporting. We are happy to do things in person or virtual, as we are here this evening. We are happy to customize as well, because we know that everybody has different needs. So while we have I'll call it a menu of things that we're able to offer, we're also able to customize it based on what that audience needs, because we want to make sure that what we're giving is relevant and valuable. Our teaching sessions usually are around 30 minutes to an hour. Somewhere in between there is kind of the sweet spot. We like to leave enough room for dialogue and Q&A. We always come with prizes. We make it exciting and fun. We know that not always these topics are the most exciting, so we do the best that we can to bring the fun and make it interesting and do our surprise and delights. And then we leave you with resources and many resources that people don't know about that our state offers that are completely free. So it's not just resources that CQ can deliver, it's resources that the state can offer, that we want to make sure that we're a connector and folks are getting the information and the tools that are available to them. So these are some of the more formalized programs that we offer. The first two, these are really geared towards schools, but something that we can take outside of the school setting, depending on the audience that we're working with. But this is really for more long-term partnerships. We have an experiential program that we've developed called FinStart. And FinStart teaches our K through middle school students in a very experiential way. We have FinSmart, which is our digital app that simulates real life, takes someone through a solid year of what it's like to make difficult financial decisions and see how those decisions impact their bottom line. And we also have FinWell. This is geared towards adults and seniors, where we build a program based on various different topics, present over the course of several weeks to make sure that we've covered a lot, also engage a lot, and incentivize them along the way. So if you're wondering what some of those topics are that we're talking about, we do cover all the basics. So budgeting, spending, savings. We do get into retirement, caring for adults, navigating life events. How do you protect your financial future through health insurance, life insurance, etc.? A lot of these topics we have handcrafted. They are bespoke to CQ, created by our subject matter experts in-house, which we're also very proud of. In addition to that, they were selected based on topics that are most important to the audiences that we have been working with. So as we're going out into our communities, this is in response to what we've been asked for. So these are hot topics, and this isn't even all of them. This is most of them. I've pointed out with another group last night, caring for adults is, and Will can attest to this one too, because he's been out and about recently, has come as a huge request because there's a lot of information there that folks don't necessarily understand, that they've also found themselves in a position where they're caring for a loved one. So that one came by request and popular demand for sure. And then just some of the partners. We have many, many partners across the state that we work with. These are the ones specifically around financial education that are helping us reach many more audiences, also are becoming great partners in advocacy when it comes to legislation. Since Maryland is not a state that requires financial education inside the classroom, we've partnered up with many of these folks to make sure that our younger generations are getting what they need, as well as our older generations are getting what they need. So Junior Achievement, the Maryland Council of Economic Education, Cash Campaign. We do work with Greenlight. They are a partner of ours that we're very proud of. We were the first credit union in the state to bring them to our members and offer that for free. And then we have Green Path, which is more for financial counseling. When our members need more help than we're able to give, we send them to our partner Green Path so that they can get whole again and come back to CQ. Okay, and that concludes at least the formal part of this presentation. I'm going to stop sharing and I would love to open it up for questions, feedback, thoughts, anything.
I have a question. This is Faisal. Excellent presentation. So in my company, I hired a lot of young graduates who are not sure what to do with their ongoing salary that they have started with. And they're super hungry for getting some financial education. Would I be able to invite you or somebody from the credit union to come to our office and give us a good overview of how to deal with money and all those good stuff, like a financial education?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Quill?
My information is in the chat.
Okay.
Shoot me an email, we can connect, and then we can schedule something where we can come out there and do that. So that's something that we live for that. We live for that.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you. So I'll reach out to you. And then,
sounds good. Thank you.
So,
Thank
so
you.
one question I had is like, you know, when we sometimes we have these events, like last time we had the business event and all that. Would you be open to coming and setting up, you know, shop there and also, you know, help sponsor some of the events?
You broke up just a little bit. Would you mind repeating that for me?
So I said, like, we had a, you know, business conference event, And, we have sponsors who come and, we host over there. So do you guys also sponsor some of the events? Like,
We
do you
do,
have events like that?
We are absolutely open to sponsorships and evaluating those based on resources, based on timing and everything. So information that you have for that, send that to me.
Okay,
My contact information is also in the chat.
great,
And then we can evaluate that and get back to you.
thank you. Okay, Dr. Khan, I think you have your hand raised.
Thank you. First of all, Katie, thank you for a very good presentation. I've heard very good things about CQ. Even though I'm not a CQ member, but maybe I would consider that. But I don't know if the question is appropriate for me to ask you, but I'm going to put it out there anyway, because if you have heard that question before, you probably have heard the answer or got on the answer. But if not, please, you can excuse yourself. And then this question goes to Christina. As a commissioner on the Governor Commission, we want to be absolutely make sure that we are transparent of who we invite and who we publicize. And I think we have to be equitable in that regard. While CQ is one of the largest credit unions, you're not the only credit union. So my concern or my hesitation, even though I would love to, is if we just focus on CQ and not ask other credit unions, then we are not equitable in our approach. So I'm sure you have heard this question before, hopefully. If not, well, you're hearing it now, is how do you organizations like us, well, how do governors commissions like us that needs to publicize for an invite, how do we handle that? I think what Chair Takar said was much easier to answer, because if you sponsor financially, then yes, you get the perk of being either having a table or presenting. But if you're not going to, if your resources are limited, which for many organizations are, how do organizations like ours, well, we're not organizations, but how do commissions like ours handle that they only selectively choose a credit union?
I can answer a piece of this. So I can't solve it, but I can share with you from a credit union stance, we are not competitive. We do not compete with our other credit unions. It is a very interesting thing that I haven't experienced at any other organization, but there's no trade secrets. We pick up the phone and call each other. My marketing team calls Silver Springs Credit Union, Sandy Point, Navy Federal, if we wanted, pick up the phone and call. It's a very interesting dynamic between credit unions. So we're not competitive in that nature. So the thought of opening up, if you're interested in financial education, but opening it up as something, hey, we support the credit union movement, and maybe not necessarily any one credit union, just to keep it equitable, is not problematic, at least. Then if you're interested in financial education, a lot of credit unions offer financial education. Now, how they do it, when they can come, their availability, their team, etc., that all varies. So I can only speak on behalf of CQ what we're able to offer, and our team. It is a primary pillar, a business objective of ours, to focus on financial education and financial wellness. So we have a lot of resources that we're putting behind this. Where our other credit unions, I'm not sure. They take a lot of different stances. Sometimes it's a focus, sometimes it's not. Some have special teams, some don't. But that would be my kind of soft response, I guess, or half response to that question, and that credit unions in general are not competitive with each other.
Thank you. And I think I will just refrain from the rest part of the question with Christina after your presentation. I think we can, as a commission, can talk about the question I had. But thank you for that. That helps me as well.
Absolutely.
Sushma, I think you have your hand raised. Sushma,
She's on mute.
You're on mute.
you're on mute.
Sorry. I actually wrote down my questions so I could remember to ask you. I love the program. Thank you for for the presentation. Now, my question to you is, I focus a lot on the kid stuff, on PTAs and stuff like that, because that's what I like to do. Are these apps that you had mentioned available to all students and all parents, or do they need to go through the program? Do we need to have a presentation first? How do the apps, because I think they're wonderful, and I think our kids need financial knowledge at this point, so, or some type of education, financial education at this point, so.
So I have lots of answers to this one, and Quill, feel free to jump in too. So the digital app experience was developed. The content that's in there and what we're teaching is really for like seniors in high school or college students. Not really, the information that we're teaching is not really relevant for, let's say, like a third, fourth, or fifth grader. We do have a different program for them. So depending on the audience, we'll determine which kind of program we would utilize or kind of overlay into the school or an after-school program. We also have content and things for adults. So if it is specifically geared towards, let's say, the PTA, if we're coming in and teaching to the PTA, or for professional development, for the teachers, that would be a different set of topics. But absolutely, we can come, we can teach to the various different grades, whether it's the educators themselves or the students. We can determine which program is best for them depending on their age.
Thank you, because I have high schoolers. I will put that out there. So
Yes.
They've actually had in their classes where they've had to make budgets and stuff like that. And programs like this, I think the kids are more into apps rather than trying to write it all down. And so I was going to ask, and then in middle school, I know Preeti is a middle school PTSA president, and I know that they have it in the middle school as well.
Wonderful.
And then the 529 programs and stuff like that. Like, do you guys do courses on those too? Okay.
We do. We've more recently, we've been working with UMD students, Towson students, Frostburg students, and their parents, as we just went through orientation. So a lot of presentations we've given more recently to university students as they've been coming in. It would be so wonderful to be able to have those conversations when we're a junior in high school or a senior in high school. So any opportunity to get in front of parents or students to talk about getting prepared for paying for college would be welcomed. So definitely shoot a note over to Quill if you're interested, and then he'll reach out and we can figure out what's the best way to go.
Yeah, and it's the good thing about the 529 plan. It's good to start it early. So if we, talk to parents of middle schoolers, it helps them so that when their students, their children get to high school, it alleviates a lot of the financial burden if they start setting it up early.
I agree. And I think a lot of our community doesn't realize these 529s are out there. So it's also good to have. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Archana?
Did Preeti have a question still?
Was Archana before or was Preeti? I'm sorry, I can't see all the hands up at the same time for some reason.
I think Archana was first and then me.
Oh, okay. Archana?
Yes. Hi, Katie. Thank you so much for the wonderful presentation, wealth of information. Question I have is, I heard about financial education for kids and students, but what about our senior citizens? Because sometimes we see them struggle as their social security incomes coming. Sometimes they lost their partners, they are by themselves. So do you do any presentation or education for that community? Can you cater towards that community?
Absolutely. We do have content and materials dedicated for our more senior audiences, focused on topics that are going to be relevant for them, whether it's wealth planning, estate planning, preparing various documents, insurance, many of the things that there's not necessarily a book for it and no one taught us. So absolutely, we go through fraud as well, since that is absolutely on the rise and problematic for our elders. So how to keep safe and keep yourself protected. So we've got a lot of content geared towards that audience. Absolutely.
Awesome, awesome. So we will
Along
reach
with,
out.
along with some resources that they can utilize as
Yes.
well, that a lot of times, a lot of our elderly or even our young don't know about. So we'll be able to give them some of those resources so they can start utilizing those as well. And they're free of charge.
Excellent, excellent. I'll be in touch. Thank you so much.
Sounds good.
Absolutely. The fun part too, being out in the community and working with so many nonprofits and different organizations is getting to be that connector. So when we start talking about resources, sometimes we're talking about resources like with a partner. Maybe it's the Maryland Comptroller focusing on taxes. They have lots of free resources that folks don't know about. So we like to be able to tell people, hey, one of our partners that we work with them, we're very close with them. Here's the free resources. Here's a contact that you can reach out to. So it's nice to serve as a connector as well for some of these things.
Awesome, great.
Preeti?
Yeah, my question is really quick. So there's several festivals coming up and for India, and wanted to find out if you are interested in having a table at one of these events. Well, I mean, we just missed, I think, 2 of them, unfortunately. But in Frederick, I know there's like something called Navratri. So there's like a Garba dances. So I know often they have community tables or information out for citizens and people. If that's something you're interested, we can connect you with folks who
Shoot
are
me an email.
planning it.
Shoot me an email. and we can
Okay.
set
Feels like
something
yes.
up.
Yeah, yeah. For your email, I have a quick, like a random question. Like, why is it a .com and not .org?
Yeah, why is that? I don't know.
I'm just saying, like, I
Our
mean, you said
website
not
is
for
org.
profit, and I'm like, wonder why it's .com and not .org.
It's a little gray. So credit unions are not for profit, not a nonprofit. It is,
Gotcha.
they're like brother and sister. It is they're extraordinarily close with a hairline difference.
Okay.
So we do make a profit. That revenue share though comes back to our members and we give back to our communities. But our website is a .org.
Okay, no, I was just curious because I'm like, I wonder how that works. Actually, I have another follow-up to Shushma's question. If we invite you to a school to do a presentation, whether it's for parents or students, will you be willing to sponsor a teacher's lunch?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, Shushma, let's work on that. Because our schools are always struggling to get like funds to do teacher lunches and breakfast. So yeah, if
We
you were...
like to take care of, we especially love to take care of our educators.
Yes.
We show up, our way of giving back and saying thank you, whether it's snacks, lunch, giving back to the classroom in some capacity. Well, we have a fun job, don't we?
We do.
No, we'll definitely be in touch. Thank you.
I'm at Bowie State tomorrow morning, and we have food for those guys as well. And it's for the administrators. So we will have breakfast for them tomorrow morning. So we come with food as well.
That's great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great. I appreciate that. Dr. Nawaz?
Okay, this was a great presentation. I just have a quick question. I know many questions been asked. I'm a physician practicing in the community actually, and recently we started getting a lot of concerns from our patients, and which were shared by my colleagues too, that they are being scammed on the internet, on Instagrams, on different social media platforms, and then the Adult Protective Services get involved. And seniors are having hard time to manage their telephones. These are smartphones, and they have been bombarded by all these kind of scamming things. And I have multiple examples to use. But do you guys work very closely to Adult Protective Services kind of departments? So I mean that will be very beneficial for the senior citizens if you guys partner with APS.
Okay, so regarding fraud in general, we do have a fraud department who is constantly on and always working. We have lots of technology within our digital environment to do the best that we can to prevent it. And then there's the educational component to all of this, is teaching folks. This is absolutely something that is, I think I mentioned earlier, it is absolutely on the rise. I am working with a technology vendor, they're called Silver, as something that we're going to overlay into our digital environment soon that is meant to add an extra layer of protection for our senior members. To help further prevent fraud and them falling into being a victim of fraudsters and scams. That's coming early next year. So I am very excited about that. But there is the education component to this as well. Our fraud team can do so much, our digital can only do so much, and then we've got to educate people.
That's the most important part, actually. So, because APS honestly is overwhelmed with these kind of works. And I think partnering with them actually is an organization like you or any other unions will be very beneficial actually for senior citizens. And it's just unbelievable what's out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I wish I knew the number off the top of my head with the folks I'm working with at Silver gave me the data on this, the data point on this specifically, and it's astronomical. The rise over the last 2 to 3 years, it's terrible.
Yeah. All right, great.
Right. Okay, all great questions and excellent information here. Katie and Quill, really appreciate you guys, and thank you so much. Anybody else? Any more questions or? Okay, no more hands raised. So. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you guys. And, I think a lot of people are going to be in touch with you. And I think it's going to be all good things are going to come together.
Thank you again for having us. Thank you for all the warm invite and all the wonderful questions. We'd love to hear from all of you. We will get back in touch with you within a day or two. We're just super excited to help, and thank you for being advocates for financial education and wellness, and also all that you do in our communities as well.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Thank you very much.
Katie, there was a question in the chat about if this is available in any other language.
So we're going to have to take this one on a case by case. We do have different translators across our organization. So it just depends on the language. So I'm going to say kinda. I know that's not a straight answer, but depends on the situation, depends on the language, where we could get someone to help us out.
Great.
And then the other question in the chat was if they could have a copy of your presentation. So if I can share that out, we can put it in PDF if you prefer.
Okay, absolutely. Christina, do you want me to email that to you?
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
You got it.
Christina, when you send that, can you include both the email addresses too? I wrote them down, but just in case, so we have it in the email.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, that is all. Thank you so much again for having us this evening. Everyone take care, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Katie. Thanks, Quill.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. We have, Chief Yancey on the call too. Chief Yancey, would you like to make any comments or would you like to make any contributions to this meeting? Is he
I
still
think he
there?
just left.
He had to leave.
Oh, he had to leave. Okay.
Yes,
I'm sorry.
he was
I was just trying to make.
Um,
Okay, that's
but
fine.
he did want me to mention that a disclaimer that basically that having CQ presenting, this was just for informational purposes and for potential co-programming opportunities. So GOCI does not endorse or recommend any financial service provider, and we encourage everyone to exercise that their own due diligence. Thank you. Chair?
So, yep, okay, thank you. All right. So just out of curiosity, then how were they, chosen to be on this program? I mean, was that something that they approached us and then, GOSI approved them, or what was the purpose?
They
that
came out to
on?
speak to GOCI,
Okay,
and they are the state for the Maryland State Employees Credit Union,
got it. Okay,
and they have
sounds good.
a lot of different programs. And as she
Okay.
stated, they are not a nonprofit, but they are not for profit.
Got it. Okay. All right, sounds good. Very good. Thank you for that explanation. All right, moving on to agenda number 6. This is for the commissioner event check-in. And thank you, Christina, for letting us know that. Did you say there was 8 events that our commissioners attended in the last
Since
meeting?
Since our last meeting.
And then
Yes.
you did 32?
I did, you want to know how many I did? I did, sorry about that. 23 meetings. I attended 23 meetings,
Okay.
representing, and 10 events.
Great. And then, so just to understand that, does that count towards the South Asian Commission meetings, or how does that work? And
So that includes, so the meetings I attend include any meetings that are commission meetings related, anything GOCI where I am representing the commission,
okay, got it. Okay,
and any
So-
outside meetings such as an example, like today's AARP AAPI consortium,
Mhm. Got
that
it.
would
Okay.
count as one of those meetings as well.
And would that also count, like, because I know that I think,
Hmm?
one of the commissioners, Aman Shirgil, was on there too. So would that count towards that, would count towards one of our meetings?
Yes, yes,
Okay, all right.
yes.
Very good. Okay, wonderful. Okay, great. Dr. Nawaz, you have another
Yeah,
question?
I just
or
have
you
a quick
comment?
question. Yeah, I have a quick comment and a question, Christina. Then, if we, it's not can we establish a protocol in which all of us, all the commissioners, can take the turns to attend these community events if it is necessary? And because there are many events, and we do get the emails from time to time. But if we feel that every event needs to be attended by the commissioner, then I think we need to know about it so that the commission itself forms kind of a call roster, so we can rotate and attend these events actually in a timely fashion. That would be my suggestion, actually.
No, absolutely a great suggestion. And one more thing, just adding to that, Christina, I think we've talked about this before. If we have a list of all the events that have happened, this year and last year, then, our community commission, subcommission can actually somehow make a format that these are the events that are happening on a regular basis. And that way we can also plan a little better. And one of the things I wanted to mention was I had a meeting with Reverend Walker, and one of the things that was brought up is that they want to, the governor and them, GOSI wants to see more commissioners at events and everything, right? But I
Yes,
think what happens
absolutely.
is when we get these event meeting things, they come at the last minute, so a lot of people get totally consumed by that, and it's very hard to plan. So I think if we, and I think we've talked about this before, if we can somehow get this list of all these events that have happened for the last year and a half, and we can reconcile it, and then also personally, I would request all the commissioners to at least every quarter commit to at least 4 events, and then we can rotate through different quarters, and that way I think there'll be enough representation. So how can we make that happen, and is there a process that we can follow and get that information?
So one thing that happens is when there is an event that I receive information from, whether it be from a commissioner or a community organizer, or just somebody passing the information saying, please share through your outreach. And so I pass those along to all of the commissioners, as well as community leaders, community advocates, things like that. So unless they are specifically from a commissioner sending it to me, then it just goes out. If a commissioner is specifically saying, I'm a part of this organization, or I know about this organization, I would like to go and represent, or I'm planning on going, may I represent, since I'm, planning on going, it's in my community or in my county, then we have you fill out the GOCI event request form, which is part of our SOP, our standard operating protocol. As I mentioned, there are some of you who are completing this form, and others are, I encourage you to start doing so.
Right, and then Christina,
Because
to the point, I mean,
these have to be approved by GOCI. Some of the questions include, what are the, what's the agenda, what's the flow, who's speaking, what are their talking points, things like that.
Agreed, but I'm
Mhm.
sorry, but just as a follow-up is that
Sure.
I think a lot of these events happen every year, and if we have some database, right, and we know that in this quarter these events are probably going to come up, then it becomes easier to plan. I think that database becomes very important, and because I know that a lot of these events are happening every year repeatedly, and we don't even have that information, so we have to kind of last minute start planning. So I would say it'll be a great way to, if you can get the information.
Sure, I'll put something together. And what I've
Yeah.
also have already started, but I haven't shared it yet because I'm still in the midst of putting it together, is something that that will track when you attend.
Right.
So the events that you're going to, this will also capture that information. And it
Yes.
can be self-populated. So it'll be shared on the Google Drive, so that you can self-populate.
Okay. Sounds
Okay.
good.
That way
Okay.
everybody has transparency, can see who's going to what and who's representing at which event.
Right.
And
Okay,
that'll help
great.
us keep track for following years as well.
Great. Archana?
I'm sorry, while I've got the the mic on, I just wanted to remind everybody to have their video, their cameras on. This is a public meeting, and we want to have your lovely faces displayed. Thank you.
Archana?
Yes, thank you, Chair. What I wanted to add is 1 month, Christina, if you remember, you had sent out a list for, I think it was month of August, that all the approved, GOCI approved events list. So that was very helpful, because sometimes, we see the email and we forget to respond, or we have it on our calendar to respond, or wanted to check something and then we forget. So that was a very good. So, but if you are creating this Google Doc, then that would be very helpful. And other suggestion I had was about the events. It's much easier. So let's say I'm in Montgomery County, it's much easier for me to go to an event if it's happening in Montgomery County. I mean, I have gone to Frederick and Howard County as well in the past, but if us commissioners, if something's happening in Howard County, then the commissioners there, if they can take a lead and, try to attend those events, that would be helpful as well.
Great. Thank you for that, Archana. If nobody has any other questions, we'll move on to the commission business and go with the old business. So on the business and economic development, I know Wade is not on the call. Faisal, do you have anything to report on that, or any activities happening, or?
Not much, but I think what we should have a topic always when we meet is to how to make Maryland business friendly, how to make Maryland more prosperous, more economic friendly, and these are the topic we should have a continual process improvement, if you will. And also, as I told you, Preet, I think a few months ago, that is there any possibility as Governor West's commissioners, is it possible to have at least a 10 to 15 minutes in-person meeting talking about critical items about the state, that we live in and we care about? I think that would have come a long way to, show our voice and our activities and everything else, having a direct meeting with him.
Well, yes, very, very, very important, point raised here. And Christina, is there, I think will a question go to BOSI? Is there a way we can get on the governor's schedule, maybe once a year or something, to meet with him personally as leaders? Just a few commissioners, and then kind of talk about this, especially from the business subcommittees, and so just wanted to check with you. What's the way to approach that?
Well, it's been something that we've tried talking about and trying to get onto his schedule. It might be kind of easier, what you're suggesting as a smaller group. I think it sounds like you're talking about perhaps the chairs of the committees.
Yes.
As opposed to the entire commission, correct?
Right. I would suggest that. I mean, I would like, feedback from the chairs. Like, is that a fair question? Or, I think I would like Faisal respond to that, because he is the one who suggested.
Again, our goal is to, going back to how we can make Maryland a better place to live, more business friendly and more attractive to the world, right? And nothing is better than having a direct communication to report out that these are the things that we've been doing. So I don't know. I mean, if it's just the chair, or I think all the commissioners should have the visibility to him. I know that might be difficult, but at least, maybe twice a year for about 15-20 minutes is everybody. I don't want to restrict this to be to the chairs only. I think all the commissioners are, to me, great leaders, and we should all meet, and it could be a meet and greet and have 10-15 minutes good discussion about what we have done, and what's upcoming. So,
Dr. Nawaz?
Yes, please. I really appreciate, Faisal, you brought this up. We all are, to a certain extent, community representatives. And we meet many people in the communities on a regular basis. And I am not a guy who represents the anecdotes, but on a very regular basis, questions being asked from a commissioner, what's happening in state of Maryland. I'm going to be very blunt. I'll be honest with you. This last weekend, actually, I had met a guy who lives in Virginia, has multiple businesses in different states, and he quoted, actually, Maryland will be the last place actually I'll open my business, and because it's not a business friendly. Now I'm standing there and trying to advocate for the state of Maryland, how good the state of Maryland is, but I do not have enough resources to, I'm not saying convince people, at least to defend myself, actually, that we are here to open for the businesses. So if I don't have enough knowledge, then how I am going to defend the state, actually, that we are open for the business? And please come, join us. I mean, I have many examples I can put, actually. People established business in the state of Maryland and took the business to Virginia.
Yep.
Because Virginia became very friendly state from the business perspective. I'm not talking in a good or bad way. I'm talking because I don't have enough information. So I cannot defend myself in front of these people. I cannot convince them think differently. So I just wanted to put forward, it is extremely important for the commission to know actually what is happening in state of Maryland. How can we attract businesses? How can we attract people to come to state of Maryland, make it a better state? That's what I'll make the statement for. All right.
Very good. Very well said.
Thank you.
Very well said. So, I mean, I know I raised my hand before, but Dr. Khan, I'll let you and, Preeti go before. So please.
Thank you, sir. By the way, Christina, I'm driving, so I don't think you want to see my face looking here and there while driving. But I'm an attentive listener. So I'm going to echo, and I know that echoing the same thing is usually sometimes fruitless, but it is important to be that voice to be echoed out. Maryland, Governor Moore has done an amazing job of making Maryland friendlier. But the reality is, within our region, it is not the friendliest for the businesses. It is not the friendliest. And anyone who believes that is living in a shell that we don't know. And there is a not just a harm for businesses. When businesses move, families move. And, I'm going to talk about education, so I'm not going to talk about education report. But no way can you tell me that Virginia, I think it is.
Lost you.
As Dr. Nawaz said very succinctly and very clearly, is not only we don't have the weapon to defend ourselves, I think it is much more important as our commissioners, as we are the ambassadors for the governor's vision, is we know is what makes Maryland unique than the DMV area. And when I say DMV area, I want to include the Pennsylvania and the Delaware as well, because I will tell you, the sale tax has gone up. A lot of things have gone up. The tolls cost have gone up. Luckily, the session will be not called back in October. That was a fear that the Maryland could not even sustain its financial budget. I don't really care about the financial budget as a commissioner. As a citizen, yes. But as a commissioner, when we do talk to people and say Maryland is friendlier, I don't know what we are friendliest at. So I think that's the more important for us to know. And I think whether it's the governor's staff, whether it is the OMB office, I think as a commissioner, I'm going to go to Chair Takhar first and say, can we have the weapon at our disposal, the nuclear weapon at disposal that says we are the best in this arena in, let's say, 500-mile radius? And then Chair Takhar, if you want to take that request back to Ghoshi or whoever, I think that's what we need to know. We can talk about it, but the meeting should not end with just, okay, we talked about it. The meeting should end with, okay, here are the action item, and we will have this information to us by such and such date.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Dr. Khan, I always love your passion about all these things. So I just want to make a comment, and Preeti, I'll go to you. Most of you might know or might not know, but I get the opportunity to talk to the executive director, Reverend Walker, every quarter. In fact, in my last meeting, that was one of the things I discussed with him. I told him, look, you have to remember that we as commissioners represent in communities. Communities come to us. All these legislation that gets passed. We go and socially we meet people, and we don't know what to say exactly what Dr. Khan said. So I told him, look, we would really like some talking points, which are happening every month. Whether it's in a email format or in any way to communicate to us that what are the good things, but just very short talking points, not like a whole newsletter, because now nobody has the time or the patience to read all those big articles and everything, and because BOCE and other people in the government keep meeting and they get the information or follow the news a lot more, what's happening locally. If there was some kind of a summary we can get every month so that we are aware of what's going on and how do we approach our communities and people, either whether it's with resources or with answers. So I just want to let you know I did represent this and I did bring it up with them, and I'll go on to Preeti. So Preeti, if you want to.
Hi. Yeah, I just want to add that, if I'm out there in the community and the folks are asking me questions, I don't expect to know all the answers. I just don't. Like, even if it was fed to me, I'm not going to remember in the moment I'm having this discussion. I'm just not. But I do know that there's a lot of things I love about this state. If you're just going to just talk about just the business aspect on its own, oh, okay, we can look at the ratings, but if somebody approached me and why I live in Maryland versus Virginia, because there's a bunch of reasons why I choose to live in Maryland versus Virginia. I would talk about it in a holistic approach, like I would use a holistic approach, including, whether it's like education, grade school education, University of Maryland, like higher education, or like, like advocating for gun violence laws, advocating for diversity inclusion, like supporting like all of these commissions. I would talk, it's because that is important to folks also. They're not just they're not going to move out of the state for business alone. They have students in here too. And if you put that student in some sort of another setting where they're not welcomed, they're not going to go for their business. And if they're going there for their business, then I don't know, they're valuing money over mental health of their own kids. So I don't know, like I would use a holistic approach to talk about it, because I'm quite passionate about why I live in Maryland. And I think, I don't know, I think we can make it business friendly. Of course, there's always room to improve in every aspect of it, but and it would be helpful to have talking points. But if you're watching the news, you probably have a good idea of what's going on in Virginia versus Maryland and some of the other states. So that's my two cents.
No, great point, and appreciate that. Are you the one? The one? I think you're on mute. The one? Still on mute.
Yeah.
Yes.
Rather than bringing in the governor, I also serve on the board of the Montgomery County Economic Development Corporation for the last 3 years. So I get a lot of the stats, and we're doing better. We're not doing as well as Virginia in many aspects, but Governor Moore's created more jobs in his 2 years than Hogan did in 8 years. Our unemployment rate is at historic lows. It's probably lower than most states in the country. So we don't have a lot of unemployment. So we're close to full employment. The deficit that people bring up during Hogan had a structural deficit of $3 billion. What had happened was we received COVID money, I believe of $5 billion or $8 billion that made up for that structural deficit. And over the last 3 years, that COVID money went down and was used up to pay for that structural deficit. In this past year, we not only had the $3 billion from Hogan, but there was an additional $500 million because of the Trump job cuts, et cetera, and the cuts that he made. So we had to make up $3.5 billion. And in the state of Maryland, we can't do what the federal government does, which is borrow money against our deficit. We can't have a deficit. So there has to be a balanced budget. So I could go on and on, but I think we could bring in maybe the Deputy Secretary of Commerce. We have a South Asian Deputy Secretary of Commerce, Mike Kapoor, that you recently started, really bright, smart guy. He could talk to us for an hour and give us all the talking points that we need, and discuss. So we have those weapons, so to speak. But I do agree with you. I've spoken to the governor's office. I hear some of these points, but others don't. And so it'd be nice if the governor's office or the Commerce Department sent this out to us, once a month or once a quarter, and then we could, when we meet people, talk about some of these points, and it can be just 3 or 4. What industries are we kicking butt in? I mean, one is quantum. You saw IonQ. I hope you bought the stock in the last 2 weeks. It's gone through the roof.
Yep.
And that really is, and I mean, Faisal's there at University of Maryland, and they have a hub. And we're doing really well in quantum. We're doing very well in biotech.
Mm-hmm.
I have a saying for Montgomery County: this is where the future of humanity is going to be made, right? And research. So we're doing well. We may not be doing as well as Virginia in certain fields like information technology, but the industries of the future, whether it's cyber, or, biotechnology, or quantum, we're actually outpacing Virginia.
Yep.
And probably a lot more about that. So it is important for everyone to get this information.
Exactly.
Maybe we bring Mayank in for the next meeting. if that's okay.
Yep, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. Thank you for that, Devan. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just to keep on track, I just want to say this, like, look, I mean, this is where, you know, we absolutely want to share as much information as we want. But also, like, you know, I think these are ideas that have to come on a regular basis, and everybody has great points. Just like Preeti had, you know, about why she lives in Maryland, and like Devang shared with us. But I think, again, it's a matter of getting educated when somebody is talking to us. How do we, you know, respond? You know, and everybody's going to have different responses. But definitely, I think this information flow would really help everybody. Christina, I think you had your hand up next.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, I some of what I was going to say you already mentioned, and I was going to just bring up about the great idea that you had in terms of getting some of those talking points and the updates on the changes and current and within the current events that are going on. That was one thing. The second thing I wanted to bring up was I can try to arrange for speakers, which I have done in the past, from different agencies within the state. So if we want somebody specifically from the Department of Commerce or from, let's say, transportation or any of the, you know, we different parts of Maryland state, I can try to make those arrangements, just like how I did for the business conference.
Right.
So we can have representatives speak and to be able to answer some of those questions that are being brought up. So if you want to send me an email with
Absolutely.
if you have suggestions,
Yeah.
then we can move forward.
No, thank you. I think that's great. I think we should have you know, one speaker from each department every time. Just give us a 15 or 20 minutes update, and that'll be great. Yeah, thank you for that offer. Dr. Nawaz?
Yes, but I mean, we are all on the same topic when Christina is saying about it. Actually, I got a few emails. Just to be very specific about it, South Asian primary care population, physician-wise, in state of Maryland, we are roughly about between 35 to 40% across the state of Maryland. And a very large patient population is covered by the South Asian physicians. And there is a program which was introduced by the state called AHEAD program. Is AHEAD. That was a total population health control program from the primary care perspective for all Medicaid patients. When you talk about, I know a lot of my colleagues are not physicians, but I will educate for 30 seconds. Medicaid is the payments which come from the state of Maryland, and there are different Medicaid care management organizations, Hopkins, MedStar. So when this program was rolled out, unfortunately, it was not rolled out properly. I got complaints from different physicians, practices actually, that please help us out to clear this confusion. We don't know how to manage this AHEAD program. We're going to lose it. And if they lose it, we lose care for the Medicaid population, and they are the vulnerable population. I will highly suggest actually that please bring somebody from the health department and talk with us so that we can talk with our physicians in our communities how to manage these AHEAD program, which is the population health control program. So that is one suggestion I have, to please bring somebody from the health department or health secretary's office to guide us what to do when these physicians are sending me emails or asking me these questions, please. Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Nawaz. And to follow up on that, so Faisal, I mean, I think, you know, from the business side of it, I think what we can do is start compiling these things that everybody's talking about, and then maybe if we can maybe have a follow-up email and, you know, with the GOSI staff and kind of just start to maybe see if we can even have these meetings like Dr. Nawaz is requesting, you know, maybe we can take a group of physicians and have meeting with the health department or arrange that. I mean, from the business perspective, I think that'll be a great way to, you know, follow up and consistently request the GOSI staff to get us those meetings. I think that'll be a great way to do it.
And if I could make a point for another 30 seconds, if you don't mind, one positive thing is that, yes, as you said, I'm a little biased, but University of Maryland, College Park, our rating just came out yesterday. We are now like the top 20 university in the country. In computer science, we're top 5. In engineering, we're top 10. It's amazing. I mean, like the overall, this is the best school in the East Coast, and so we're making tremendous progress. And also, as Devang said, like quantum computing, Governor Westmore, is supporting us with $1 billion grant with another company that we partnered with. So it's all the great news. But one little example of the difference between Maryland and Virginia, if I may, because we're all Marylanders, we can criticize our home, openly, right? So if you wanted to open a company in the state of Maryland, it takes about 3 to 4 weeks if you do a regular process, right? You can pay a lot of money to do it immediately. But in state of Virginia, you spend $50, you go online, you fill out a form, you click the final submit, guess what? You got your company instantly. So just imagine just a little example of how business friendly our neighbor is. So we need to get there somehow. So again,
and to your point, I think that's why we need to be in front of, maybe the governor and maybe even the commerce secretary sometimes.
Yeah.
And, try to make these changes. And I'm personally, I've had a lot of people, I know a lot of CPAs and everybody, they're having a lot of problem with the changeover in the controller's office, and some of the business people have had a lot of issues over there too. And they approach me and they say, can you help me? And, I'm like, I'll try, from personal connections, but I know these are things, but I think it'll be important if as representatives, we can get in front of whether it's the controller or, but so maybe we should make that as an agenda, Faisal, and, maybe come up, okay, once a quarter meet with one department and take our issues to them and talk to them, and, maybe Gosi can help us set up those meetings, or we can reach out to them directly with our contacts and set up a meeting and meet with them. I think whether it's the health secretary or Control of Maryland or the Secretary of Commerce, I think we do have that ability to do that. And I think there's enough people in this room who can help set those up and go with specific, questions and specific answers we want, to come back with. So that's my comment.
Very well said. Yeah.
Right.
Will do. I'll make a note of it. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you, everybody. That was a wonderful, conversation. Moving on to community, I know Aarti,
Chair Preet.
Yeah, but can you hear me?
Chair Preet, I just had one more thing to mention.
Sure.
While we were on the topic of reaching out to different state agencies to speak, something that you may want to consider is not just having them speak to the commission, but maybe having a small gathering, or we can have it online, a virtual like webinar, so that it's open to the public, and the public's questions, our community's questions, can be potentially answered. We can probably, take some questions ahead of time.
Okay.
So we keep it to a tight agenda,
Yep.
but something to consider. Something to consider.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I love the idea, but one question I would have is, how do we get the word out to the community? I mean, is that something, how do we?
It can
get
be
it out?
posted. If we do it on time, we can post it on the GOCI website. We can send it out to our community networks.
Yeah, okay. So but I know we have to go through GOSI for that. I mean, we can't really send it out directly for some of these, because I think we have to get it.
Well, once
approved.
it's an established event,
Okay.
yes, you can send it out, because
You
it
can
will
send it
be
out
a
directly.
commission
Okay.
event,
Got it.
right?
Okay, wonderful.
Just something to consider.
No, absolutely. I mean, this is good to know. I mean, these are things that, come up, and I think that'll be, again, Faisal, that's another tool we have, which we can reach out to the.
Preet, I have a quick thing. Actually, the this AHEAD program is kind of a semi-emergency because it's been rolled out.
Okay.
And all the physicians are signing up or getting out of that program. I'll request or highly recommend have the health department come and talk with us. That will be great, please.
All right. So then, Dr. Nawaz, then can we, then at least, Christina, how do you think we should proceed? Should we put in a request?
I would think to put in a request. Actually, Dr. Nawaz, you and I spoke kind of briefly the other day. And you were going to send me, you were going to email me some more details.
I know. I will actually send you all the details. Okay.
But what I did do in the meantime is I did list it as a challenge that you conveyed concern from the community to be aware that there's this issue.
Yeah.
So
yes, please.
Yeah,
So
Dr. Nawaz, if
will
you can
actually share.
CC me on that, I'll appreciate that. And
Absolutely.
then let's really make this a priority. And
I will actually get this thing going to you guys within the next 48 hours. Okay.
Great.
Okay, great, wonderful. And then I'll personally also pursue that.
Preet,
Thank you so much.
Preet, can I ask
And one thing, actually, I'm sorry, I'm interrupting. Actually, can I put it under the healthcare subcommittee with Bishal,
Yes.
or you want to do it separate? Bishal, can we do this together?
Yeah, definitely. I think we need to do that.
Okay. All right.
Preet, can I suggest something?
Yeah.
Actually, nowadays the hot topic is the immigration, and I know it's a federal this thing, we can't do anything much about it, but people want some help.
Right.
Senators' offices can help us. So if we can organize some kind of meeting with them so that we can channelize the system and so that they can get some help from USCIS through the senators. So what can we do with that? Because we got a lot of questions being asked by the different people. What can be done about this?
So I think, Commissioner Sandhu, I think last time, Christina, didn't we have an immigration, GOSI has an immigration, kind of a Q&A place where we can put in requests and they can respond to us and help us, direct us.
We have our director. We have our director of immigrant affairs, Kamal Isaheb, and he did speak at one of our events. But we can, and we actually had a meeting with him with all the commissioners that were invited. But we do have some more new staff in the Office of Immigrant Affairs, so perhaps we can have some of their staff answer some questions.
Right. I think if you could post that information for us or share it with all the commissioners, I'd really appreciate that. And then Commissioner Sandhu, we can reach out to them, and they should be able to answer, and we can put people in touch with them also, because that's part of what they're supposed to do. In fact, he was there, I think, at the Vasaki event too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, that's exactly the event I was thinking.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yes,
So
and then we had the assistant to the director of immigrant affairs. She actually attended the Festival of India the next day after we were there, Amarjeet.
Oh.
Yes.
And Devang, maybe you can shed some light on this immigration. Is there any other resources people can go to? I mean, I know this is really, really hot right now, and I think it's just everybody's waiting and watching. So can you shed some light on?
Yeah, I mean, the resources from Maryland can be limited. This is a federal issue and very complex issues, and it depends. Immigration is a very broad field, anywhere from asylum to business immigration to deportation. So you really need specialists, really, to answer the questions. I think what a senator can do is if a case is stuck, they can inquire into the status of the case, but they can't make something approved that's otherwise unapprovable or something of that nature.
Basically,
a lot of issues even with this guy that got deported to El Salvador. It took, Senator Van Hollen went down there and he still didn't come back right away.
Right. So I think, Commissioner Sandhu, I think what the thing is that they'll probably, in case somebody wants to know what's my case, what's the delay, they can probably put in a request, but I don't think they can help with answers,
Yeah, they can't provide legal advice.
Yeah, they can't provide legal advice, but they can, reach out to USIC and ask, what's the status of a case and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what they want. Basically, they want know the status of their cases. Most
Yeah,
of
yeah.
yeah.
And do you know, Devang, how long it takes for them to respond? I mean, I'm sure right now they're probably
They're very
over.
quick. The congressman, within a week or so, you probably get a response.
Got it. And is this through the congressman or is this
I'm
through?
with that US, either,
It's through the senators. Senators can do this.
yeah,
Okay.
or your congressman. 'Cause, I mean, Senator Van Hollen with Ashima, they're very quick. I mean, Ashima doesn't do it, but her people do it, and they're very quick.
Right. Okay. And then Christina, if that request goes to your to the GOSI immigration, they can then put it through to the senator. Is that how it'll work?
I'm not really sure. I don't want to say that's how it works, but we can find out.
Okay,
Because-
that'll be great. If
Yeah.
you could find out and let us know,
Yeah.
yeah.
When someone contacts the senator's office, they've got to then fill up a form and a privacy release form. So the senator's office can't just inquire for anyone. They need a document signed.
Got it. So what your recommendation is, just go directly to the senators, to your local senator and put it in the
Yeah.
office directly?
Or the
Is that what you're advising?
Yeah, that's what I'm.
Okay. So Commissioner Sandhu, I think best is that, just reach out to the senator's offices and they always have people on staff and they'll give you a form which they need to fill up. And once you put it into the senator, so anybody could put it actually, and they can get an answer.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the route we can take for that. Okay, great. All right. Thank you. I know, Aarti, I'm not sure if you are able to speak, but can somebody else pitch in here? Archana, anybody with the community subcommittee?
Sorry. I can certainly try to speak. Outside of just, I think what upcoming holidays that we do have, I know last year's calendar, we had agreed for Diwali, which is upcoming in actually next month. And so I think, we do need to start planning for that and organizing. I know that we do have the members of our subcommittee who are quite active, but I think it's just a matter of us trying to figure out one, location, the venue. And I think once we have information on the venue and the date, then other planning metrics can quickly take place. So I don't know, Preet, if you wanted to share any additional.
Sure. Yeah, just to give you a little update, tentatively we have 23rd is the date. So please, the commissioners, please put that on your calendar. Tomorrow I have a call with someone on the staff of the governor house, and I'll have a lot more information that, Aarti, which I'll share with you. And we'll as soon as I get that call with them, I'll be able to give you a lot more information. But tentatively, 23rd is the date that I would recommend everybody to put on their calendars, and then we will, after that, I have more information I'll share with Aarti, and then we'll be able to give you a lot more information on that.
That's October, right?
October, yes,
Okay.
yes, October.
Just
Yes,
making
sorry.
sure.
I should have
Just
said
making
that.
sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Last
No,
year
you're
was
right.
December, so I just
I
want to
know,
make sure.
no,
Okay.
December 23rd, we'll be celebrating Christmas, close to Christmas. Yeah. Okay, great. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I think
yeah. Okay.
I know based on just the information as far as the date, the 23rd. So, today is the 24th. So we have
Right.
just less than a month. So I think we would just obviously need to move quickly,
Yes.
depending on the venue. Depending on the venue will help determine obviously the capacity. So I
Right.
think we would just have to move quickly in terms of catering and, all of the other good stuff that takes place when we are planning these events. So if you are able to support and help in any way, of course, our subcommittee is quite active with Aman and Archana and all others. But if you are able to support in any way, obviously, please just let us know. And we do have our WhatsApp group that's pretty active as well. So I think once we can confirm venue, then we'll confirm capacity, which will help determine all of the other factors and variables we need to consider.
Great. Yep. Great. And Lisa, you have something to say?
No, she asked Prateek asked for me. It was October the 23rd. You just said 23rd. I didn't know what month.
Got it. Okay. All right, and
Thank
all
you.
right, so I will be reverting on that very soon, and that's great. Um, Moving on to the Education Committee, Dr. Khan.
Thank you. So our committee has not met, but we're going to probably jumpstart the committee because the schools is back in session. I would like to give you like maybe a few updates. Number one, we did submit a proposal to GOCI that was legislative in nature. So we would like to know if the GOCI is moving forward with that proposal. I think there were 3 proposals. But I think it is far more important that we don't repeat what happens in the past in terms of proposals dying. So I think one of the things I think perhaps, Chair Takar, I'm going to ask for your request is if we know there are proposals that are either submitted through us or there are proposals that are submitted through a legislator, whether they are county proposals. Devang is very involved with that, or there are proposals that are submitted by state, that we review those proposals and we vote whether we, as a commission, would like to not just endorse those proposals, and again, this is where Christina will come in, ethics will come in, but also we share this proposal community-wide too. Because I think where we get defeated is when it comes to the witness testimony, there's hardly any. And we are a very large minority group in Maryland, but when it comes to the witness testimony, or I forget what that is called, you're getting supporting testimony, there's hardly 2 or 3 people. And that doesn't represent, forget the South Asian diaspora, it doesn't even represent the commissioners who are on the South Asian Commission. So I think that's really, I would challenge all of us, everyone here, that if there are any regarding education proposals that we know of, whether they're in county or whatever, that, especially at the state level, they started in January and sign dies in somewhere in April, I think, is that we really look at those proposals and if we are allowed to endorse or we allowed to agree, we then reach out to our community. So that's number one. Number two, in our last education meeting, we agreed that we should be honoring our next generation, because most of what we do is focused at our age group, and we know our average age group is not 20-year-old. We look 20-year-old, but we're not 20 years old. So one of the recommendation was perhaps we should have a systematic process where we reach out to our communities and say, is there a superstar in the next generation? And then we recognize that superstar at an event. So an example is Diwali. Diwali is an exemplary event where it is one of our event, but yet we never have the next generation recognized. I think it's high time that we arrive to a system and a process that's equitable. We will make missteps along the way, that's fine, but I think it is really high time where we have 2 or 3 students who are the exemplar, whether they are in the K-12 semester system or a higher ed. I'm not talking about 4.0. I'm talking about those that other countries post their news about. For example, I see in South Asian newspaper about this American student who was American, who was of Indian descent or Pakistani descent or Nepali descent, doing an amazing thing. And I'm thinking, well, we are not even talking about him, but the other countries are talking about an American citizen of the descent. So I think that is something I'm going to ask the Education Committee, but with that, I'm going to ask the Commission as a whole to help us out to arrive to a process where we can selectively choose, because we cannot have 55 people arrive. So again, that's another key piece there, right? And then the question is, can we have a citation from the governor, recognizing this? Because there are citations for birthdays, believe it or not. Governor office, they write citation for birthdays, 75-year, 80-year-old. So why can't we do for the superstar? And that way, we are bringing the younger generation on board, and hopefully they are the future commissioners. That's number 2. Number 3 thing I will tell you, and I don't want to beat the Pandora there, and it's about the business. And in higher ed, I am on the Maryland Higher Education Commission's Program Review Proposal Advisory Council. I know it's a mouthful, but what I'll tell you is I am the only faculty in that commission, in that advisory council, and everybody else is either a provost or a president of a college. And I think there are about 16 or 17 representatives. And Dr. Sanjay Rai, who is our South Asian friend and has been in many events, he is the secretary of Maryland Higher Education. And one of the things almost every college president, all the way from Towson to Maryland, and in fact, USM Chancellor Jay Perman has said that if we don't build programs in Maryland, not only we will lose students to other colleges, but we will lose business because business don't want to come if we don't have their programs. So I think one of the key piece that we have to look about is what do our students need? So K to 12, it's an easy one, right? Nobody's moving states for K to 12. But we do know that Maryland is losing students to other states. The question is why? Now, Faisal is very right. I'm a very proud parent of a UMD student, and he's in computer science. So yeah, UMD, we are at the top 5. But UMD is one of the many colleges. Not everybody goes to UMD. It is the largest, but not everybody goes there. So I think that's the other key piece we need to know from our South Asian community as to why they are sending the kids to other colleges when we have the best of the best in the region. And I think, is it a perception issue? Is it something they don't have? I think that's something we can convey then to the state agency, which in this case is Maryland Higher Education, or it means it's a public school system. That's there. We can talk about that one too. So I think those are the 3 things. And the biggest one of them all that we must do now is because if you guys remember, we did a statewide survey last year and we got the results. And so our next step for that one is we survey our community and then we will follow up. And our follow-up is resources. So we know what the community asked for. So I'm going to work with both Education Committee and Christina to see if we can do what Christina said. And for the other stuff is to see if we can have a Google Meet with the community members where we can have the experts or the state agencies who are the experts in finding the resources and invite the community. And hopefully we can record that. So if the parents or the students who couldn't be there, they can have the recording and we can have that recording available on our South Asian Commission website, because ultimately that's the get-go place for a lot of people if they can't get hold of us. But I think that's the next challenge for Education Committee is to have at least somewhere next year have a resource webinar for the community on resources that they want to have. So those are our challenges, milestone targets.
So, Dr. Khan, thank you for that. Just a quick, comment and maybe recommendations. I think what we can do is every quarter we can take one event of what you want to achieve, and maybe we can even put a proposal together and we can put it in front of either the education secretary, or if it's a county-wide thing, we can put it there and have some follow-up there. That's just a comment, and I think we have a very passionate and highly qualified group here, and whether it's the health or legislative or business economics, I think maybe each quarter if we do one agenda and each subcommittee takes that agenda with whether it's up to the secretary level or to a state or a county level, I think we can certainly achieve something, but we have to do this consistently and be able to present it. And Christina, can GOSI help with one of if somebody puts a proposal together or something to get it presented to the right people?
Certainly try.
Okay.
So one of the challenges now, Chair Takar, is this. I will tell you, and I think Devang will probably do a better job than I will because I'm a novice at this and he's an expert at this. There are over thousands of proposals, so many just die in the legislation. So the question for Christina is she aware of anybody who can really search the worm of all the proposals that are out there before they die, to be brought to South Asian Commission and say, these are the proposals that impact you or your community. Of course, there are a lot of proposals that impact everybody, but are there proposals that specifically impacts you? Now, when I go to the legislative website, yes, it's very good. It has a search feature, but sometimes the South Asian key is missing because it might be under Diwali or it might be under holidays. So I'm thinking if there's a way that GOSI has access to someone who does that for a living, because I know many counties do that. Counties executive or commissioners, they have someone that they've charged with and find out what are the things that impact their counties. I'm thinking of something like that, not just education, but even in business, what are impacts that could be potential that we could bring up as well and endorse literally. Or if we don't want to endorse, we let our community knows that, what, if you want this proposal, if you like this proposal, please put your testimony out there. Because voices matter, votes matter, but voices matter too. And Devang, please feel free to chime in if I'm completely wrong, because I don't mind being wrong.
I just want to also remind everybody, we have kind of a little bit constrained on time. At 7:43, we have 15 more minutes and about 4 more agenda things. So Dwang, if you want to quickly chime in, would really appreciate that.
No, you're wrong, but it's very difficult and cumbersome. I mean, you almost have to hire a lobbying firm or public relations firm to look through and read all the bills. And I'm not sure if any of them are going to particularly just say South Asian, right? So most of the bills are just going to affect the South Asian community in different ways. Some for the good and some for the bad.
Thank you. All right, moving on to the Health Commission Subcommittee.
Thank you, Chair. I would like to raise like two agendas today. I'll be very short and quick. One of the emails I sent last month was about organizing a well-being day. And Dr. Nawaz and I attended an event last week, and I was in one of the events last month as well. So my thought process is that a lot of communities within our South Asian communities are doing this kind of health event, and we're screening or lab work, giving the advice to the patient and all. So in my opinion, we do not need to reinvent the wheel. We don't need to do the same thing again, but we could be coordinating those events, putting them in one umbrella. And maybe, if possible, a good idea would be allocating one day in a calendar, probably start of the next year, that we can assign as a South Asian American Well-being Day. And what we could do is we could just, facilitate those teams to say, okay, we can organize an event in Gettysburg, another could be in Frederick, another could be elsewhere. We can suddenly visit those different places and try to cover those 3 or 4 pillars we've been talking about, like mental well-being, physical well-being, financial well-being, and social well-being too. The plans has been submitted. I could write further more details on those plans, and same message could be delivered among different teams. What I feel visiting these 2 events recently, that all these team members, the organizers, they have to work tirelessly. It's a big event, a lot of things has to be done, resource systems to pull together. I believe we don't need to be involved on that, but we could just coordinate the events for them, give a little bit of an umbrella system to them. And they are very eager to work with us. They are very, they want to work with the commission, be more like, I think validation they will get from the event as well. So why don't we make a plan to organize a day, if not possible this month, this year, maybe next year, assign a day in the calendar, well-being day. And it could be a celebrated event for all of us, in terms of health, cover those different topics. That is one agenda. Maybe we need more time to discuss on that one. We can continue the conversation within the subcommittee. And next idea I would like to discuss is one more email I recently sent to all of you. You might have got about this environmental stewardship program. So this is a very novel and a unique program that gives, it came to me from a friend of mine, and it is a EPA funded, federal funded program. And they want to target South Asian community in Montgomery County and PG County. That is a project-based county. And they were trying to build a environmental friendly, like a peace park or peace, garden kind of thing for our community. There will be a lot of education session talking about the environment, talking about the preservation and a lot of things. And again, they seek a help from us, not in terms of we didn't have to be actively involved, we didn't have to do anything, just need to do a little bit of, outreach with our help. We are the leaders of community, people listen to us, we could help them to organize these things. And from the financial point of view to the organizing point of view, they will be taking care of everything. All we need is to facilitate them. And what I see from like the need would be, let's say the 2 counties they were talking about, and this is just my thought I'm sharing with you all. You could disagree on that one. For example, Montgomery County, I know Laman is from there, very active in the community and all. For example, I visited the Gurudwara last week, with Amans and all. That could be a place where you can start with a small, nice, like, in the backyard, nice peace forest or garden, something where our elderly can stroll around, have a wonderful time with do a nature well-being and all. And next thing I was thinking about is the Swaminarayan temple, actually, that's in PG County, I believe so. Or we could choose another mosque or any other religious places where we can facilitate with them, could organize an event, and this could yield like both impact in terms of well-being, health, environment, and also we could benefit from that kind of a different approach as well. And both of those things have been shared with all of you on the email.
No, thank you for that. Dr. Nawaz, I know you had a very great idea yesterday when we were talking.
I think my take was actually the same for first point which Vishal was mentioning, that as a South Asian commission, there are multiple events happening in mandars, in community centers, in mosques, in gurudwaras. Why can't we collectively bring together at a county level? The way Vishal was saying, actually, mind, body, and soul. And I think I was having a discussion with Aman. The mental health is one of the prime thing right now in our communities too. It is hitting every community, and we are not addressing it. Unfortunately, we really need to get together and establish for next year, most probably in the spring, one specific day in every county from a South Asian perspective to bring a health fair, which includes care for mind, body, and soul. That's how we need to approach, because South Asians are very spiritual. There is a very faith-based communities actually, and we need to bring those things together in a positive way. That's how I feel actually.
No, I appreciate that. And I think another suggestion was to, like, instead of like this year we had the business conference, next year maybe have a health day or something, and kind of just get all the community together and invite people and talk about that, because that's also a big thing
You
that
see, just to be very specific, Preet, I'm sorry to interrupt actually. APNA, North American Pakistani Physician Organization, did 3 events actually with the ADG, American Diversity Group, and went very successful in Montgomery colleges. All right. Now, I can only envision and I can only hope. But hope can be can be $1 million hope, that API, APNA, Nepali organizations, Bangladeshi organizations, Sri Lankan organizations, all of them get together. And we establish a very, very strong healthcare presence actually in every individual community, counties actually in the state of Maryland, which we can. We can. I think we should actually, and celebrate one particular day the way we did for the small business and mind, body, and soul. Bring the health, bring the mental health, bring the spirituality together. I think that's what I will envision.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah,
Great.
wonderful.
Thank you. And so then, I think, Vishal, you have some homework to do and start to put things together with your subcommittees. And obviously, we are there in support, and we can,
Yeah, I have shared
definitely
both the
plan that.
proposals previously. So if you have time, please go through and give me any kind of feedback. I'd love to do that. And for this particular mind, body, and soul, to make it a more engaging event, I'll try to like put it more elaborative form. But please feel free to reply those emails with your feedback, and that will help me to put together a better form of product.
Okay, thank you very much. Devang, on the legislative side, I probably half a minute. Sorry about that. I just
I don't really have much to report. I'm working on, the same things we were working on last year, but we've got to speak to some people and then we'll move forward eventually, right? So I talk to the legislatures and see how we can move forward. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay.
All right. Now, this is an important topic we need to talk about, especially in the fourth quarter for MD 250, because as we know, next year is the 250-year celebration of independence, and Maryland wants to host that. And I know we've been talking about this for a while. I know, Aarti, I won't put you on the spot right now. And, maybe this is something we need to start talking with the subcommittee and start planning it. But one thing I've noticed is I've been going out to different community events. There's a lot of and like we talked about, that every county and every probably every county in the state, there should be some presence of the South Asian of the commission, and also some kind of a presentation, whether it's on the history, on the people, the original people who came here from South Asia, or whether it's some of the performances. So I think we should also look at that, and that's my suggestion. And obviously, I'll let the community subcommittee take charge on that. And if anybody would like to speak up, but I think this coming next quarter, we got to really put a lot of energy into it so that we have a plan for the next year. So would appreciate if somebody from the subcommittee other than Aarti can, speak up, unless Aarti wants to say a few words.
I I I I don't have too many words to speak. I know that we've been talking about 250 for a few meetings actually since last year. So I think just trying to wrap my head around it a little bit and figure out, and how do we play a part in that? So I think it's just a matter of us really organizing around that. I mean, for me, to be very transparent, I have not wrapped my head around 250 outside of that one meeting that we had from GoSee side, I think from the admin side that came, and a few of the follow-ups over email that never really came to fruition in terms of just a separate meeting. But happy to circle back and then follow up with you all here.
So my suggestion is let's go get over the Diwali event, and then maybe in end October or first week of November, let's have a subcommittee meeting and maybe talk about that, and and come up with some ideas. Just a recommendation.
Sure.
Okay. Great.
Chair,
Okay. Anybody?
Chair.
Sorry. Yes.
I would suggest going back to the minutes of the previous meeting. There was quite a bit of discussion regarding the 250 Commission, and I would suggest going back to that discussion and seeing the ideas that were discussed. Because instead of starting from scratch.
Right. You're talking about the last meeting?
Yes. There was and RT wasn't at that meeting, so but there was a very lively discussion about potential projects.
Sounds good. So we will look at that and then maybe discuss that.
So 7:56.
Yeah, I was
Time
looking
check.
here. I think it was item number 6, Maryland 250.
Okay.
So yeah, I do see something over there, but I don't think so. There was any. Yeah, but I think we'll review that and we'll discuss that. Good suggestion. Thank you.
Mhm.
All right. Now moving on to the new businesses. I think we've already talked about that. In the old business and new business, and that's what I was trying to say last time, that mostly we talk about the new and the old business together. But is there any other new business any of the committees want to talk about? Okay. All right. So I think we can pass on that one. Get into any public announcements. I really don't have any public announcements. Christina, do you have any public announcements?
Just a reminder to those who have not sent Lisa their up-to-date contact information. She sent this email out. There was a deadline that she was trying to meet per the request that came from GOCI leadership. And there are still a few outstanding commissioners who have not complied. So please look for that email. Send her your current contact information, answer the questions that are in the email request. And then a reminder from me about those who have not completed the Open Meetings Act training, please do so, and then send a copy of your completion certificate via email to me. Thank you. That's about it.
Thank you. Thank you. Christina, as closing remarks, thank you everybody once again. Really passionate group. I always enjoy, look forward to these meetings and talking to everybody, and I appreciate all your time, you spend for the commission and also for the community. sometimes you might feel that it goes unnoticed, but I meet a lot of people, and everybody really appreciates everybody when we go to these meetings, and they look forward to meeting all of us, and thank you for all your time trying to represent there. Sometimes I'm guilty of not doing that much. Most of you do a lot more, but definitely a great effort, and let's try to keep that good work up and move forward and try to do a little more, and try to get into the community and represent. And from my side, I make you this promise that we are going to listen to what everybody said about trying to be in front of the governor and in front of other secretaries and stuff, and then try to make it work. And that's something I'll work on personally to happen. So I want to just thank everybody. Now I'd like somebody to call a motion to join the meeting.
Motion.
Chair,
Chair.
Vice Chair
Yes.
Nawaz has his hand up.
I just
Oh, I'm
wanted
sorry,
to
I
make sure.
didn't see that.
No,
Sorry
that's
about
all
that,
right.
Dr.
So,
Nawaz.
Preet, I just want to make sure that whatever we discussed actually, and we will follow up on this. Everything
Yes.
actually, especially whatever that we discussed in front of the governor, healthcare commission, whatever
Absolutely.
you can name it. I just want to make sure that when we meet next time,
Yes.
we will discuss actually about all our meetings which happened. Actually, that will be a very beneficial for the whole
Right.
commission, please.
Great.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And like I said, I think if each of the subcommittee can start to put those points together.
Yeah.
We are happy to jump on calls and say, look, this is what we have come up with, and this is what we should suggest that we meet with this person, or this is where we want to be in front of. I'd be happy to kind of be in the middle of that and try to mediate that, so we can be there and be representing the thoughts of our communities. Right. Be happy to do that.
Okay.
Okay, great. Thank you. And sorry, Dr. Nawaz, I didn't ask you to also say some remarks.
No,
My bad
worry.
on that. Yeah.
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. not
All
at
right. Sounds good.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. And now I'd like to call somebody to call a motion to join the meeting.
Motion.
So I second it.
Okay, great. Do you have the names, Lisa?
Who was the first one?
Faisal.
Okay, and the second?
Nawaz.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. And
Thank you.
to that point, and all yeas, please raise your hands or say yay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any nays?
Aarti, you need a better doctor.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Take care,
We are
guys.
here to
Take
support
care.
Aarti, just know that. Okay.
All
I
right,
think he
take
was
care.
volunteering.
I'm pretty sure he has a good one. So I'm just saying, hope you feel better. Hope you feel better.
Yeah. Good
Yes.
luck and feel better.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Everyone have a good night.
All
Have
right.
a
Good night.
Thank you. Yeah.